Okay.
Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Honolulu's weekly Pau Hana. I am TJ Fitzgerald. I'm the minister here at First Unitarian. My preferred pronouns are he, him, and his. And we could not be more delighted to have with us a jewel of the folk music era and stage. Doris Justis is with us today to share some music and some thoughts, some stories maybe about her time as a performer and as an artist. Really as a folk music as a kind of theology, so also as a theologian of sorts, or interpreter at least. And yeah, what we like to do when we have a musical guest is maybe just start off with a number that they were thinking of doing, and then we'll pick it up with some conversation after that. I'll try not to do too much talking. And if you have questions along the way, just go ahead and put them in chat privately to me so that Doris doesn't get distracted by the questions, and I'll do my best to get to all of them. So for now, Doris, how would you like to start us off with a song?
Well, I'd like to start with a song that John Denver wrote called Trade Winds, which I have always loved, and some of you have heard, but that's okay. I hope the guitar is coming through too.
It is.
And I can't think of the first line. Isn't that terrible? All right. Second one. The very first song that I ever did. I know. Isn't that wild?
That's great. I've so been there, Doris. I get you.
Oh, golly.
Yeah.
I've got another song in my head, and that won't work. Okay. So anyway, the very first song I ever loved or ever did on the front porch in Gaithersburg, Maryland, apparently I was very young, and that was Que Sera. When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? She answered tenderly, Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. When I grew up and fell in love, I asked my sweetheart, what lies ahead? Will there be rainbows day after day? Here's what my sweetheart said. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. Now I have children of my own. They ask their mother, what will I be? Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? I answered tenderly, Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Mahalo.
Yeah.
Can you hear the guitar too, TJ?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. And so tell me about growing up in Maryland, and what how did you learn that song, and how did you end up on a porch in Maryland?
Well, that's where we lived in Maryland, in a small little town that is now huge. Nothing like it was when I was little.
Yeah.
And I just love that song, Doris Day, in some movie.
A Hitchcock movie.
Yes, yes.
The Man Who Knew Too Much. Yeah.
Thank you. Exactly. But I didn't know the movie. But I sat up at, apparently, this is what Mommy said I did. I was up at the top of the stairs after bedtime, listening to television, and I would hear songs, and I would learn them. That was just it. So, but that's just a song that stayed with me all my life, and I always, even though I wasn't named after Doris Day, I've always adored Doris Day.
Yeah, she's a powerful singer who sings. I noticed also that you were getting to the correct notes. I've heard that song done where they kind of slip and slide a little bit on the lower, and you were hitting them the way that Doris always does. Yeah. It makes it so much more beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, that's a very intense scene. You know, she's singing while her son is being held captive.
Yeah.
And they don't know where her son is, and she's having to sing and she's singing about what will be while she's tied to the truth of the potential of losing her child. It's really
and I've always loved the movie. You know, when I was older, I got to see the movie, and of course, I everything that she did, and she died the day after I did the concert there at your all's church.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I did Que Sera that day, because that's one of my favorite things. Yeah.
It's also not that often to hear a song with a future tense in Spanish, but there it is. Sera is the future tense of will be.
And the only Spanish that I know.
There you go. Do you have another tune you were thinking, or did the John Denver tune come to your mind?
Let's come back.
All right. They have a way of doing that. Let's do that.
And the thing about it is, I have felt since the very beginning, I can't even tell you how far back in my life, that I was being propelled here, and that I would someday be in Hawaii, though that was not possible. That was just a dream. But so many things have happened in my life. And even though he did not particularly write this about Hawaii, I take it that way, and I always have.
That's how we interpret things. Beautiful. Yeah.
Riding on a trade wind, filling my sails with the soft and southerly breeze, living on the ocean blue, dreaming of the islands, wrapping myself in the glow of the tropical moon. I never shiver when the sun goes down. Oh, the earth, she sings to me, ever shallow, every tree. Surely my love's shining like the sea. Now I can make you happy. If I can, I'll take you away on a wave in my arms. I never leave you on the edge all alone. If you feel like dancing, rolling like the waters across my sleepless night, and making me a peaceful place. All my life to be with you, all I ever want to do, knowing you are feeling that way too. distant thunder, heavy seas, Rocky Mountain memories. Surely I was lost till I found these. Ooh. I'm riding on a trade wind, riding on a trade wind, riding on a trade wind. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Beautiful, beautiful.
You can see why I feel like that connection.
Yeah. Can you tell me about how you did get to Hawaii?
It is an interesting story because I dreamed of it all my life. That was never supposed to happen. And then there was a company that did what we called troubadour cruises, and they were going to have one to Hawaii, and I wasn't even thinking about it. But it was being plotted behind my back because everybody that's known me in the music business, my family, everybody knew that I wished I could go to Hawaii. Okay. And so the plot behind was somebody paid for the deposit for me to go and talk to my boss that I was going to be able to have time off. Okay. They set it all up. And then I was at a gig and one evening, and everybody was like a chitty chitty, you know, like there's a secret, you know, and I'm like, I was oblivious pretty much. Okay, so they're talking amongst themselves. And then they just, wow, it brings back a great feeling, you know. So the president of the World Folk Music Association stood up and said, we have an announcement to make that some of us are going to Hawaii with Steve and Cindy, who were performers for this event. And so is Doris. And it was just like, I'm like, Doris, you know, there aren't any other Dorises, but it was me. So I got to come a few months later, and TJ, when I got off the plane in Honolulu, I knew I was in a world of trouble because I knew it was an immediate thing. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was here 2 weeks and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I went home and people were saying like, what happened? What's different about Doris, you know? And they figured it out pretty quick. So then I just said I'd like to go back, and I made it happen in 2 years. And it was crazy. I drove across country, visiting friends and family to get here, sold my car in Washington State, and here I am.
That's great. How long ago was that?
I left DC on June 19th, 2016.
Oh, okay.
5 years. We'll be here in August. I will be here in August. Because as I went across country with just me, which I've never done anything like, you know, crazy. I had a blast, and I visited everybody, and I thought, you know, okay, so I'm going to be there for a couple days, you know, and they, oh no, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Do you really have a timetable? No, I didn't. No plan in Hawaii other than Margaret, you know, the former president that passed away. I had contact with Margaret from the Unitarian Church and the Ethical Society in DC. She was my contact. That's all.
Okay.
But that turned into a great friendship, by the way.
Yeah.
I really miss her.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. What a great story of coming to Hawaii.
I know, it's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. That John Denver tune is beautiful. I'm also a big John Denver fan myself, so
good,
it's lovely.
Good,
yeah.
good.
So do you have another tune for us? I could ask for tunes based on road trips or tunes based, but we're not gonna play Total Request Live. We're gonna play what Doris wants to play.
Well, how about this one?
Okay.
That I wrote.
Oh, yes.
When I lived and taught school on Smith Island in the Chesapeake Bay. So Rainbows Islands and Hawaii have all been part of my life, always. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And the only way at the time to get back and forth from the Smith Island was by boat. Mm-hmm. And one night, and everybody sat down in what they called the hole. It was like down deep in this boat. And I would ask the captain if I could be up top and outside. And they thought I was very weird. But I was allowed to do it. And one night I was coming back, and it was just like the Chesapeake Bay was like glass. Yeah. It was blue skies, fluffy clouds, seagulls, and I was just filled with joy of the experience that I was having. And I wrote this song, but it works for here too. Yeah. It's called Coming Home.
Beautiful.
I'm coming home. I'm coming home. For the first time I feel like I am coming home. There's wisdom in the knowing and peace in the feeling when all things in your mind seem to be one. And there's pleasure in the knowing someone else will keep things going. And when I'm gone, there'll be kind thoughts behind. I'm coming home, I'm coming home. For the first time I feel like I am coming home. On a cloudy or a clear day, if the tide is high, so am I. If the tide is low or me, I know I'm fine. For no matter how life's treating me, I'm free to go on singing. And there's a force in me that won't hold back. I'm coming home, I'm coming home. For the first time I feel like I am coming home. And I see the islands waiting, my heart goes out there flying. This boat will take me back where I belong. And the joy that I am feeling, I hope you can believe me when I tell you this is all the home I need. I'm coming home, I'm coming home. For the first time I feel like I am coming home.
Oh, that is lovely, Doris. Thank you so much for that.
You bet.
Yeah, it's yeah, I grew up in Connecticut, but my aunt and uncle lived in wherever, Norfolk. And so we'd often, Norfolk, Virginia. So we'd often go to, and we go to Chesapeake Bay, but one of my favorite books growing up was Misty of Chincoteague. Was a story about a horse on Chincoteague Island where there are wild horses. And I remember it was actually, I know this is about you, but I just have this story, but we went to the ocean or to the bay, and it was the first time in my childhood where I did something naughty where I like got wet. You know, I got too close to the water and it like came up, and then my parents just didn't care. And we all ended up jumping in the water in our clothes. And it was just a very fun, like, we had other clothes because we were on a trip. So we had like a whole, bag of clothes. So it didn't really matter, but it was just really joyful.
That's great. Oh yeah. I can picture that. That must have been wonderful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful bay. If you've never seen the bay, like Chesapeake Bay, then you gotta go. It's just one of the beauties. So I'm picking up a lot about place. In particular, John Denver is from West Virginia, and you were talking about a part of Maryland that's pretty close to West Virginia, and now talking about Chesapeake Bay. How close for you? Like, what does place mean? All these songs are tied to place. Can you say something about place for you in music?
Oh yeah, I mean, whenever I sing any of these songs, and everything is my favorite, okay, just about. I do have one all-time favorite, but that's another story. Right. But anyway, they're connected immediately to place and time. Mm-hmm. And that is why I can get choked up a little bit, because it doesn't matter how many times I sing it or think about it, I come right back to it, to that moment. If it's the moment when I wrote a song, or a moment that I, like Trade Winds, is connected to all sorts of beach visits, and there's a rainbow in it. There's a line with a rainbow in it, and I always loved rainbows. So, yeah.
Isn't it? It's like a song as a repository, I think sometimes, or I like to think of it like a reliquary, like where sort of sacred artifacts, which are the memories of our lives, are deposited over time. And great songs, Que Sera Sera, Trade Winds, and really your song also, Home, I'm Coming Home, over our experiences, they get imbued with more meaning. They take on and take on. They're like spiritual sponges that way.
And always, I hope I never am not able to do that. I worry about that a little bit, and then I say, don't worry about it. It's still working. It's still working. So it's okay. Yeah. And I know other performers who have to put words of songs in front of them. I rarely have to do that.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends on the song. I've got one here that I might do later or not, but the words are here just in case. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I play piano a little bit, and I'll sing sometimes, and I have a friend who sometimes will just come and ask me to sing songs or whatever, and I'll do it without a piano or a guitar and just kind of sing songs from my childhood all the way through. And he's like, how do you do that? And I'm like, how can you not? It's not the same. It's just the way your brain works. Yeah.
It is.
Or your heart works, maybe.
I had a bandmate, not the one that's side by side, that we've been together forever, but another bandmate. And we would be challenged at parties and jams and stuff, because to see who knew every tune, they would throw out tunes. And Greg and I would both know them. I mean, it just didn't matter. And I could play them, and more often than not, sing it. Yeah. So it was that was great too.
It's funny because I know we're gonna hear another song. Everyone, bear with me, but to me, the feeling of remembering a song isn't in my brain; it's in my body.
Oh yeah.
Something, and I think that's sometimes where people miss that. It's like you can almost feel something in your shoulders, or you feel it kind of in your hips, or it just coming out, in some way. That's where memorization is. It's not in the head. Yeah. Anyway.
Because do you always have something going on in your head, a song? Do you always?
Constantly.
Yeah.
I dated Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I dated someone who figured that out, and we'd just be walking, and they'd ask, "What song?" and I'd just start singing it, and they're like, "How do you live that way?" And again, I was like, "How do you not? I don't understand."
How do you not? Yeah, I was going to say basically the same thing. I mean, it's just like people have always said, well, so which one is it now?
Yep.
Oh, and another thing, which, knock on wood or whatever you're supposed to do here, I don't know. But since I've been here almost 5 years, but if the song is not there, that's a sign that I'm not going to feel well.
Mm.
And it has worked, sadly.
Yeah.
Where I was really sick the next day. Because I woke up thinking, there's no song. Yeah, be prepared. Yeah. Just a weird thing.
Interesting. Do you have another tune for us? Something on the plan?
Got a list here. I'm thinking I could do Country Roads, or Leaving on a Jet Plane. John Denver.
That was the song that actually got me excited about music. My cousin David was, I don't know, 16 or 17, got a guitar. I was 3, I think, 3, almost 4 in Thanksgiving at my great grandfather's house, and he played that song, and it was like the one that got me like excited about music. So definitely play the other one. Don't know.
Well, I'll tell you a story, and you may know or not know, but when John Denver wrote it, he was in Washington, D.C., and he was going to perform on then later to be my boss, my mentor in music until he passed away in 2013. But this was back in high school, okay, and he was going to be live at this hootenanny in Washington, D.C. at the Cellar Door, a very famous listening club. And Dick was going to be there as the host. And then the next night on the show, he would tell us all about it. It's not something we could hear, live from the Cellar Door that night. So John had written this song. He sat down with Dick backstage, and he played it for him. He said, "Oh, you have to play that tonight. That would be perfect." And John said, "Oh, no, it's not copyrighted, and I haven't given it a name. Give it a name." So he did. And he played it that night. And it was called "Oh, Babe, I Hate to Go." Right? And that's what it was. And that's what John would perform until Peter, Paul, and Mary heard it several years later. And they wanted to record it. And Mary called up John, and she said, we want to do your "Babe, I Hate to Go." And he wasn't famous, okay? He had been in the Chad Mitchell Trio and the Mitchell Trio, but he wasn't this household name or anything like that, okay? So he said, I'm thrilled. This was going to put him on the map. No Country Road yet, okay? Mm-hmm. This would put him on the map. This is going to be great. And she said, the thing is, we'd like to change the name to Leaving on a Jet Plane. And he said, okay.
As any struggling songwriter would say to Mary from Peter, Paul, and Mary who calls. Yep. Okay.
And they had a big hit with Leaving on a Jet Plane.
Did they ever?
Yeah. So this is, well, I always say everything. I always introduce a song and say, this is my favorite song. But they all are.
Yeah.
All my bags are packed. I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. I hate to wake you up to say goodbye, but the dawn is breaking, it's early morn. Taxi's waiting and he's blowing his horn. Already I'm so lonesome I could die. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me and hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane, don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. There's so many times I've let you down, so many times I played around. I tell you now, they don't mean a thing. Every song I sing, I'll think of you. Every place I've been, I'll dream of you. When I come back, I'll bring your wedding ring. So kiss me and smile for me, and tell me that you'll wait for me, and hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane, don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. Now the time has come to leave you. One more time, let me kiss you, then close your eyes, and I'll be on my way. Dream about the days to come, when I won't have to leave alone, about the time I won't have to say, kiss me and smile for me, tell me that you'll wait for me, and hold me like you'll never let me go. I'm leaving on a jet plane, I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go.
Thank you. Beautiful.
You're welcome.
I know it feels funny not hearing the applause, Doris. You're very nice to put
Well,
up
you
with
know what? I started out in places where they didn't even acknowledge you were performing.
Yeah.
And I know all about it, and bars and places, and I just love to perform.
I can tell you everyone is giving all kinds of applause. I can tell you. Yeah. Everyone's very excited and enjoying it.
That's very sweet.
I know in a way it's almost like we are just sort of doing this for one another, but
it is fun though.
Yeah,
this is great.
It's
good.
Great. Good. Yeah, it's a beautiful song. I think when you hear it when you're 3, you don't think much of it because you never had to take it when you love to the airport and watch them get on that plane. Right. But that song, talk about a song that changes over time. Ooh, Nelly. Yeah.
I love it. I love to see. I grew up loving the Chad Mitchell Trio. Mm-hmm. When Chad left in 1965, John Denver replaced him, and I was in love with John Denver then. So I transferred from Chad, and Chad knows this story. He thinks this is great, okay? Because we go way back. But we fell in love with John Denver, and I've loved him ever since. And then, fast forward to the night of meeting Sean McGee, who's now my partner of 37 years.
Okay.
37 years in May, okay? My music partner. And fast forward to finding out that what we had in common right away was we knew every John Denver song. We both did. and he's 9 years younger than me, but he'd grown up with the Chad Mitchell Trio records and the John Denver records.
Yeah.
So everything, any John Denver song that we could come up with was instantly harmony, melody, guitar, the whole business immediately. It was amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Right from the beginning.
Me and my friend from high school, it was Simon and Garfunkel, because we both grew up with all those tunes. We would just put on any Simon and Garfunkel, and she'd sing Garfunkel. It was.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's great. Isn't that I wanted that for my music life. Someone who I could sing with like that. That's another thing I never expected to find, and then I did.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah.
Sure.
And when I take someone to the airport now, I always, even if I barely know them, I hug them and tell them I love them. Because I know that their parents would want someone to have told them that before they get on a plane. And so it's led to some awkward trips, but in the end, I've gotten some very sweet texts afterwards from people being like, I didn't like that when you did it, but I'm really glad you did.
But, and the fact that we can't hug and kiss for a year. I mean, I'm a hugger, kisser too, but but to not be able to do that has been horrible. And this is my way. I hug, and I do the heart, so at least something. Yeah, I'm hoping for the time when we can do it again.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Good. Do you want to do a little more John Denver? Do you have something else for us? What do you want to do?
Oh, sure. Gee, let me see which Country Roads.
Let's do it.
Home Country Roads. I got a story for that.
Good.
Okay. Bill Danoff and Taffy Divert, who were called Fat City in Washington, D.C., wrote most of that song. And they got to meet John because he would perform at the Cellar Door, because Bill and Taffy would open for a lot of the guests that came, and Bill was the super duper sound and lighting guru for the Cellar Door. Okay. And so one of the times he would go back to their place at night, and I guess they, probably some booze and maybe some smoke, all that back then.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Having a good old time.
Mm-hmm.
And one night they shared the song with him, and they said, we like this, but we don't know what to do with it. So they sang it to him, and he finished it. And what it is that it was written about a 2-lane just road, country road in Gaithersburg, Maryland, called Clopper Road.
Okay.
And he changed it to the West Virginia.
Ah.
And he always gave them full credit for the song. They shared it equally, the three of them. Yeah. Always, even after his death.
Wow.
It's
wonderful.
Right. I know all this trivia because of Dick Sari, who had that folk music show on the radio. I grew up with it. And when I came back from college, which was still in Salisbury, Maryland, and I had been sort of a correspondent for him as I grew up. I never met him, but I would write in and tell him things about folk performers that I'd heard about, and he would read it on the air. And it was called Notes on Folk from Doris. It was really cool.
That's great.
So when I came back after 4 years being far away enough, I found out the show was on. And so he had one of his usual Sunday night folk quizzes. And I wrote in the answer. And he called me up. I won the prize, which probably I didn't, but I won the prize. And then we chatted for 2 or 3 hours on the phone. There wasn't any email or any of that stuff back then. Nothing. Computers, nothing. And he sighed, and he honestly, he said to me, "Gosh, I wish I had me." And I
Sorry,
said, "When do I
we
start?"
we missed what he said. There was some kind of mute or something that happened. So he sighed
Okay.
he sighed and said,
He sighed, and he said, "Oh, I wish I had someone like you working with me." And I said, "When do I start?" I'm not really like that, but there are occasions in my life where I surprise even myself. Okay, like even moving to Hawaii. I mean, what?
Yeah.
So I began to work for him, and I worked for him from 1980 until he passed away in 2013 as his sidekick, production manager, everything. I met all the folkies. I met them all. I met John. I sang with them. I mean, oh my gosh, it's like I have so much to be thankful for and blessed from him. Yeah. And I love him so much. Yeah. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah, country roads. Did I do country roads? I didn't, did I?
No.
I got sidetracked.
That's all right.
What I was saying was that I know so much trivia is because of Dick's radio show and our association for all those years. That's what I was trying to get at, and I got sidetracked. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, a mountain mama, take me home, country road. All my memories gather round her, miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country road. I hear a voice in the morning hours, she calls me. Radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads take me home. Down country roads take me home. Down country roads.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Yeah. Oh, I did the wrong thing. Hang on one second. Add spotlight. There we go. Oh, we switched sides. That's okay.
Okay.
Let's That's wonderful. Yeah, that's a song that's really, there's just something to it. My cousin actually.
I can't see you now, TJ.
Oh, you can't see me now?
No, I did see you before.
I'm
I
going
have no idea.
I'm going to do this.
Okay.
Can you see me now?
I see you now.
All right. The magic.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, my cousin went to University of West Virginia, and they sing that song at 45,000 people sing it at the top of their lungs at every football game.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, that song has gone everywhere. It's been all over the world. Everybody knows that song.
There's the Hawaiian version. Have you heard?
I haven't heard that yet, but I know that there is.
Yeah, West Makaha. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. I mean, that's not the name of it, but that Iz sings it.
Iz did it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was who it was.
Yeah. It is funny today, and I'm not going to go on record being critical of any arrangement by Iz, but if you listen to it, it's a little electronicized. It's a little hokey-ish, the arrangement. I'm sorry. It's just, I like folk that is just the instrument, but there's like this kind of anyway, an element to it. When
I came here, I stopped performing it that way. I used to do it just me and my guitar.
Yeah.
And that's the way I like it too. And the version that I was given, because I was actually doing a memorial service for someone who really wanted that version of that song, and I didn't know it, it was just acoustic. It was just guitar and his vocal. And it just blew me away.
Yeah.
And then a couple weeks later, believe it or not, what was the name of that movie? It was scrolling at the end of a movie that I went to, Mr. Black or something, and it was, what's his name?
With Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt, yes.
Yeah, the one where he plays, well, not to give it away, I don't know, with Anthony Hopkins. Yeah.
Yes. And it's it's under the credits.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I made a scene in the theater.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know. And then I found out he'd passed away. He was gone already.
Yeah.
By the time I knew about the song, he was gone.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's a
but
special.
I love that version. And
Yeah.
I have done. I do not do that here. I do a straight Judy Garland type over the rainbow.
Yeah. Yep. Well, beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. I just, I've been so touched by this. I grew up listening actually mostly to Irish folk music, the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem.
Yeah.
I've actually met Tommy Makem a few times. So.
I did too.
Oh yeah.
He was really fun.
Yeah, really a fun guy. I saw him in concert a few times too, and have his songbook, and yeah, that's when he plays that whistle, you're just like, what are you gonna do next, man? Gosh, So.
Now, am I getting too dark in here? I don't have any light on. Do you need a light?
No, you look great. I'm getting dark, I know, but no one needs to see me. So.
No worries.
Yeah. So what do you have something else on the list for us? Anything that I haven't asked for requests because I just feel like you've got a plan of what you want to do.
I don't know what they would. How about this? How about if I play my all-time favorite song?
Okay. I wasn't gonna make you. You said it was a maybe, but I'm super excited that that's what you want to do. Okay.
I'll tell you what it is. I loved it from Dick's playing the album on his show when I was a kid, and it's called Thirsty Boots, and it's by Eric Anderson, S-E-N, Anderson.
Okay.
And I've always loved it. And when I was helping Dick book showcases, Eric got in touch. That was a different way. It wasn't through internet and all this that we've got now. Phone calls, or a letter, like we got a phone call from Eric that he'd like to do what we were doing, our showcase, which featured usually side-by-side opening, my duet, or me, and 3 other acts. So I booked him. And I was over the moon, okay? Because I loved that song and another one that he wrote, Violets of Dawn, which is just beautiful. And I got to meet him that night, and I said, you know, Thirsty Boots is my all-time favorite song. And I'm a so-called adult by then, okay? I'm not a kid anymore.
Yeah.
But I acted like it. That's my favorite song, and he was very pleased. And he said, you know, people think it's a love song, and there is that part of it, but I wrote it for the civil rights movement. Mm. And I was like, oh, wow. And it's meant a different thing to me ever since, and that was in 1982 or so. And he wrote it at the very early 60s. Okay.
All right.
Very early 60s.
Yeah.
Okay. Thirsty Boots.
All right.
You've long been on the open road, been sleeping in the rain, from dirt of words and mud of cells, your clothes are dark and stained. But the dirty words and mud of cells will soon be judged insane. So only stop and rest yourself, and you'll be off again. Take off your thirsty boots and stay for a while. Your feet are hot and weary from a dusty mile. And maybe I can make you laugh, and maybe if I try, looking for the evening and the morning in your eyes. I know you are no stranger down a crooked rainbow trail, from dancing cliff edge shattered sills, the slender shackled jails, and the melody drifts from below as the walls there being scaled. Yes, and all of this and more, my friend, your song shall not be failed. Take off your thirsty boots, stay for a while. Your feet are hot and weary from a dusty mile. Maybe I can make you laugh, maybe if I try, looking for the evening and the morning in your eyes. Tell me of the ones you saw as far as you could see, across the fields from towns around, marching to be free, and of the rusted prison gates that tumble by degree, like laughing children, one by one, they look like you and me. Take off your thirsty boots stay for a while. Feet are hot and weary from a dusty mile. Maybe I can make you laugh, oh, maybe if I try, just looking for the evening and the morning. Ooh, the morning in your eyes.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Isn't that the greatest song?
It is. It is. It's when someone really takes the time to write a melody that moves. You know, it's here, then it's there, and it gives it the shape, and then it nestles in at the end. Yeah, it's eternal. It's beautiful.
The first time I ever heard it on Dick's show, and I was not supposed to be listening to Dick's show. I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I had a transistor radio hidden under the bed with an earphone that my older brother had rigged up for me, but never told Mommy. Okay?
Nice.
First time I heard that song, I thought, oh, that's it. It's always been it. And I was just 12 when I first started listening to that show. Whoa. Yeah. Uh-oh. I just really, uh-oh. Well, you know, I'm Kapuna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with experience. Good.
Yeah.
Well, Doris, thank you so much for this time. And I know if I didn't have a meeting at 7, you know, but I do. And but that's but you know, we'll definitely have you back if you're willing. And
absolutely, I would love to come back.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. I loved us just chatting and sharing, and the songs. I mean, yeah.
We're going to allow everyone to unmute now, and I'm going to turn off the spotlights so you can see everyone. And everyone unmute, and let's have a round of applause for Doris.
Thank you so much.
Yay.
That was delightful.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you so much,
Doris. Thank
you,
Doris.
My pleasure. Good to see you all. My goodness, look at you.
Look at everyone. Look at all these people, Doris. Everyone loved you. This is great.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, fun seeing you, Doris. Oh my gosh, it's been so long.
No, and I don't have a gallery view. I can't see everybody.
Oh, right. Oh, this is Janice talking of the Janice and Margaret show.
Yes. Hi. So good to see all of you, even though I don't see you.
Have you here, though?
Hey, hi.